displaced 37.3 NCC approval to disconnect banks, and local raw material sourcing hits 5-year low on insecurity. Details now. Over 200 persons were displaced with goods and property worth millions of naira destroyed following a fire outbreak in Elekahia, a densely populated area in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, this morning. VOP gathered that the fire, which started at about 8:30 a.m., was caused by a kerosene explosion. Some of the affected residents have traveled for the festivities, while others were out for work when the fire started. An official of the Federal Fire Service, John Nemeka, disclosed to correspondents that they arrived early but were unable to access the scene because of the nature of the houses. Now, about 37.3 million Nigerians get potable water from 10,053 water supply schemes and projects developed in urban centers and rural areas by the federal government and its partners in various states. Data obtained from the Federal Ministry of Water Resources in Abuja on Thursday show that 6,761 of the water schemes supplied water and potable water to 32,008,600 Nigerians were solely developed by the federal government between 2016 and 2022. It was also observed that a total of 3,292 water supply projects serving a population of 5,262,189 people were jointly developed by the federal government in partnership with states, local governments, communities, donor agencies, and development partners. The joint projects were developed under the P-WASH program between 2018 and 2021. In the section on water supply subsector, the report stated that in providing access to potable water in Nigeria, 6,761 water schemes were developed across urban, small town, and rural areas of the country, producing 794,334,000 liters per day and 732,008,600 Nigerians also per day. Now, telecommunication operators have reached out to the Nigerian Communications Commission for approval to access stable telecommunication equipment. Now, to phase out the unstructured supplementary service data offered to banks due to over 80 billion naira. The Chairman, Association of Licensed Telecoms Operators of Nigeria, Benga Adebayo, said that the operators had sought regulatory approval to implement partial removal of the USSD services. He also noted that the disconnection would be done in batches, starting, however, with members who have been registered. It also followed with the fact that between then and now there had been a strange improvement and lacuna in the gap. Deposit money banks and telecom operators have been at odds since 2019 over non-remittance of USSD fees. In 2019, however, telcos said they could no longer provide the services for free and proposed to take a cut of 4 naira 50 kobo per 20 seconds from the charges paid by customers to the banks. However, the banks kicked against it, alleging that it would raise costs by 450%. Now, on March 12, 2021, telecom operators said they would spend, or rather suspend, the USSD service over 42 billion naira accumulated debt by banks, a move halted by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami. Pantami had written to the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, highlighting the impending danger of the disagreement and stressing the need for banks to pay the accumulated debt or risk suspension of the USSD code. The banks, telcos, CBN, and the NCC have had several meetings in the past to resolve the issue. Now, the rise in insecurity and limited investments for local raw material production in Nigeria is taking a toll on the local sourcing of raw materials by manufacturers in the country. VOP Business Dec gathered recently, especially from data obtained from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, which displayed that local sourcing of raw materials in the first half of this year was 52%, the lowest, however, in 5 years. Now, between 2017 and 2021, local sourcing of raw materials hovered between 53% and 60.72% during the period under review. Foreign exchange shortage and naira devaluation, as well as the disruptions in global supply chain caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine crisis, forced many manufacturers to look inwards for production inputs. The Manufacturing Association of Nigeria said in its latest half-year report that the sector is generally faced with limited investment in domestic production of raw materials for utilization in most of the subsectors owing to limited funding and policy incentives in the country. Now, since the security situation became intense a few years ago, agricultural activities from which most fast-moving consumer goods firms benefit from have been greatly impacted as farmers had to abandon their farmlands because of kidnapping, banditry, farmer-headed conflicts, terrorism and other forms of insecurity in major crop-producing states. Over the years, however, insecurity in the country has increased significantly, especially in the northern part of the country, with data from the Global Terrorism Index showing that Nigeria is the third most terrorized country in the world after Afghanistan and Iraq, with record terror-related deaths estimated at 1,245 in 2019 and 1,606 in 2020. Data from the 2021 Economic Value of Peace report by the Institute for Economics and Peace show that the cost of violence in Nigeria from 2007 to 2019 was $1.34 trillion. And still on the business report right here in Voice of the People 90.3, the Nigerian Naira dropped on Thursday to a record low of 462 Naira to a dollar on the official market, with traders saying the central bank has been adjusting rates to cope with backlog demand for foreign exchange. The Naira has fallen to successive lows across both the official and black markets due to dollar scarcity since last year after the central bank intervened to ease pressure on the spot market, where the Naira has been trading within a range. According to Reuters, the currency weakened to a low of 461 Naira to a dollar on the official market on Wednesday. The Naira also weakened across the board on the forwards market, with the currency quoted at 472 to a dollar on the 1-month contracts on Thursday. As the currency weakens, demand increases on the official market. The unit has been flat at 714 Naira on the parallel market. And finally, for the first time in 26 years of creation, Nasarawa State will be opening its financial accounts in the best shape, just as the state government projected its gross domestic product in the new calendar 2023 to grow by 3.75%. The governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, who disclosed this recently after signing the state 2023 appropriation bill into law at the government house in Lafia, said his administration will continue to leverage its policy document to change the fortune of the state. Also, the governor, who is overwhelmed that the state is opening its accounts in the best financial shape ever since creation in 1996, vowed to consolidate on the gains recorded in the first year for the overall progress of the state. Also, Sule stated that his administration would strictly adhere to budgetary provisions towards ensuring successful implementation of the fiscal document for the benefit of the people of Nasarawa, emphasizing that even though the government is presently in transition with the 2023 general elections fast approaching, his administration will not be carried away by electioneering but will remain focused as it fully implements the budgets. He also stated further, by appreciating the Speaker as well as other principal officers and the entire members for their prompt consideration and speedy passage of the 2023 fiscal appropriation bill into law. However, the 2023 budget will be predicated on the specific parameters and fiscal assumptions, namely oil price, which is about $70 per barrel, daily oil production estimated at 1.69 million barrel per day, inclusive of the condensate of 400,000 barrels a day, exchange rate of 435 Naira to a dollar, as well as 17.16% inflation rate. These assumptions inform the decision of the administration to submit a budget size of the sum of 148,958,122,525,000. And just before we wrap up the business report at 3, let's look at the focal points once again. Your heather explosion has destroyed houses in River State, many persons displaced. 37.3 million Nigerians access water from 10,053 projects. Telcos seek NCC approval to disconnect banks. And local raw material sourcing hits 5-year low on insecurity. And that is a wrap on the Business Report at 3 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Wachikudu. Follow our social media handles at VOP 903 FM. Good afternoon.